Hey, good Friday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here in the newly rebranded North Georgia Majestic Weather Studios. Here with your weather update here on your June 6th, 2025. Now, before we get going, I first want to thank everybody who's come back to the new channel. Again, this was not by choice. Apparently, the words we had in our old branding were trademarked by one of the TV stations in the Atlanta market, and they took legal steps to have us take it down. Didn't give me a heads up, didn't ask to let me know that it was a problem. I just had to get it taken down, and Facebook took it down, and we will not get it back. So we're going to have to rebuild it again from scratch. So again, if you like this channel, you like to get some straightforward updates here from somebody who lives in North Georgia, who has got a passion for weather and doesn't work for those big corporate-owned TV studios, help us out if you can. Please go ahead and hit that follow button right now and become a follower. Help us get back to 1,000. We're getting closer there. And again, our goal, as we're kind of resetting the calendar right now, is by next June 5th to get between 100 and 150,000 followers on this channel. And I want you guys to be along every step of the way as we kind of take on the big boys, all right? Okay, let's go ahead and get into our forecast for right now as we're looking at not bad conditions there across Blue Ridge. We're getting some sunshine. It is a bit humid outside, definitely a little bit of an air you can wear type day. It's definitely feeling more summer-like all across North Georgia. A little bit of a breeze, that's not bad. Definitely needed. So it's a little bit humid outside. Going over to Sky Valley, it's up across extreme northeast Georgia. What a gorgeous afternoon. Yeah, let's go taking a round of golf, a little putting down there. Not a bad idea here for today, that's for sure. All right, let's look at the radar right now. We're looking quiet here for a moment. A couple showers trying to kind of spit up there near the Dalton area. Seeing a little thunder shower there just to the west of Chattanooga, but our area is pretty clear. So right now, the timing looks like this is going to be coming in late tonight and going into tomorrow morning. Yeah, well, it's a big surprise, another nighttime event here. But I'm not overly concerned about it. I am a little more concerned about tomorrow, as it looks like we're going to see an uptick in activity for tomorrow, and that will be kind of late afternoon into the evening hours, closer to that prime time heating. So I'm going to show you more on that here in just a second. Now, looking at the regional radar, again, temperatures well into the 80s, even 90s out there, seeing the scattered storms. Here's some of that little energy that's still left from some old cluster of storms there, and we're getting new development up here into portions of Tennessee. So this is going to kind of drop down into our area as we go toward midnight here for tonight. Again, seeing the scattered storms down there along the Gulf Coast, but definitely looking like a kind of a typical summertime day here across a lot of areas of the southeast. Looking at your regional satellite here, this is the GOES 19th satellite. I love this thing because you can put the lightning data on top of the clouds there and get an idea what the thunderstorms is doing. So you see a lot of thunderstorms up here in Tennessee. That's also where the greatest tornado threat's going to be. I'm not expecting really a high tornado threat, not only for tonight, but tomorrow as well. It's going to be more a wind thing, especially for tomorrow, but it will be an opportunity for tonight as well as we go through the next, say, 48 hours. So let's go ahead and break this down here. Okay, first thing I want to do is take a look at the latest day one outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to break down the categories, and then we're going to look at your day two as well. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Again, you can see that slight risk here coming up across North Georgia here. Coming in for tonight, going into tomorrow morning. That slight risk there. And notice the tornado threat is all up in Tennessee. We've got a little sliver of green there across extreme northwest Georgia, but most of North Georgia is looking pretty good. We're not looking bad here at all. Now, the wind threat, different story here. Obviously, we got the 15% here coming across North Georgia here. I'll zoom in a little bit closer. So we're talking about Blairsville, down toward Cartersville, Cedartown, up toward Lafayette, Dalton, into that zone right there. And then as far as the hail threat's concerned, that's also kind of running about 5% in that same general zone here for tonight. Let's talk about tomorrow. A little bit different story here as we go in toward tomorrow. As we look at day two, bam, we got that orange setup in here. So we have an enhanced zone. And the big threat in this enhanced zone is going to be that wind threat here. And again, we're talking about some of the western counties here of Metro Atlanta, Cedartown, down to Bremen, Carrollton, Franklin, down into LaGrange. So kind of coming in from this way as these cluster storms come rolling in out of Alabama. And just keep in mind that the path on this could deviate a little bit. So we got to keep that, if it does deviate a little bit, the path might deviate a little some. So again, tornado risk running pretty low, less than 2% there in that green. So again, these type of storm setups are not traditionally your big tornado setups. You couldn't rule it out, but for the most part, we're talking about just an isolated risk here. The wind threat, that's the big bullseye. Look at that red right there. Again, we're talking 30% right here, starting from Mississippi, Alabama, and right into extreme western portions of Georgia. Everybody else in the yellow looking at that 15%. And then the hail threat here for tomorrow looking like that. Most everybody here across North Georgia basically running about 5%. So we're talking about maybe nickel or quarter size hail. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the model data here. Let's talk about this as I go back over here to the weather wall. And we're going to kind of break down the timing on this again. We got a couple of clusters coming at us here. So here's that first cluster coming on through. That's coming in after midnight. Here's the next cluster, boom, coming in toward the evening hours. So we got a couple of these that we have to track, and then there's another one going into Sunday morning. So just kind of waves and waves of these thunderstorms that we're going to have to deal with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow this down. We're going to kind of break down the timing on this a little bit. So I want you to watch the timestamp there in that upper right-hand corner as we kind of track this here as we go through the forecast period. Let me back this up for you again. Again, we're looking at heading into tonight. So right now the models aren't showing anything. Now I could not rule out late this afternoon and even the evening a possibility of maybe seeing maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm. And I really couldn't rule it out completely, even though the models aren't showing that. But it's this lineup in here coming in after midnight. So again, what you're going to probably see is some very gusty winds, some brief heavy rains, and it's going to be bond. It does look like it's weakening. Remember, this is moving in during the time where we're kind of losing that max heating of the day. So should not be that big a deal as this thing comes on through there, all right? But the one end of the afternoon, that is a different story. So this cluster of storms moves on in here in the middle of Alabama at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice it's right near the state line right there. So you got these thunderstorms coming across Alabama. Prime heating, we got plenty of fuel. That's what the summertime temperatures are like. So these are going to have a little bit of kick to them as they come on in here at 5, 6, and 7 o'clock. So again, any deviation in this path, we're talking just a few tens of miles, could make a big difference between who gets the worst of the storms and who doesn't. So we'll have to watch that very closely here. And this will pass on to the south and then kind of deviate on out there. And then we see another little cluster of storms here. Look at that, another one here going in towards Sunday morning. Some storms that may be coming in between Atlanta and in Columbus going into Sunday morning. So we got a few days to watch this. All right, let's look at your forecast maps here for the next week. I guess the big word here is going to be unsettled. The population right now looks like Sunday and Tuesday appear to be the wettest days to kind of watch here as we kind of go through the forecast here again. Not going to get these fronts to come on through. We're getting that time of year where these fronts tend to come to the southeast and they die because you just don't have a big push to kind of move them on through. So right now, going into Sunday, the rain threat seems to go up out ahead of that next frontal system going into Sunday. So a little more widespread rain expected going into Sunday. Monday, it kind of shifts off toward the south. Tuesday starts to spike once again. You see the heavy dark green in there again. Wednesday settles down with that front kind of coming on in here, but the front kind of stalls as well. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, it just sits with a rain chance staying with us. So just keep the umbrella handy. We'll see oscillating rain chances just about every day for the next 7 days. But I guess the good news is, as far as getting a big heat wave or extensive heat, that's not going to happen as long as this pattern continues. And it looks like for the next week at least, it's going to stick around. So mostly sunny in Gainesville tomorrow. 87, watching those late day showers and thunderstorms as we just showed you there. 87, 70. Some of those storms will be on the hefty side. Could see a few isolated severe. Morning lows, again, partly cloudy for tonight. Any storms that come up here. So we're looking at partly cloudy. Again, these storms coming in about midnight or so, kind of moving on through and then kind of dying on out. So as you get toward morning, it'll be partly cloudy. Storms will be done. Temperatures here in the 60s to around 70 degrees. Pretty muggy out there. 70 in Gainesville, 65 up in Hiwassee, and 70 degrees in Dalton. How about the daytime highs? Generally here in the 80s. We'll keep it in the low 80s up into the Georgia mountains, but everybody else, middle upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Atlanta at 89, 88 in Rowan. Again, we're going to watch those storms come in from Alabama, coming in this way, and that'll be bringing up our chances for severe weather here for tomorrow. All right, let's go look at your regional forecast. 85 in Memphis and Nashville with thunderstorms there. 94, ouch, that's hot in Jackson. 87 in Destin, 94 degrees over in Savannah with some scattered storms. How about the rest of the 7-day forecast? Here we go. Again, notice I got the rain chance there every single day. Thunderstorms every day. And looks like the warmest of the days appears to be Saturday. Again, those storms coming in kind of late. And we kind of hold it here, low to mid 80s really for the week. Overnight lows in the 60s. Right now, the highest rain chance is looking at Sunday and looking at Tuesday right now on the forecast. And again, as we go along, when we're dealing with outflow boundaries, weaknesses, and disturbances, those rain chances can change slightly per day, so keep that in mind. So anyway, here's my plan. Obviously, we can't go live like we thought we were planning on doing for this thing, but we can go live on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. So right now, I'm not planning on doing live tonight. That's going to be a little bit late. Not going to worry about that. Doesn't look like a big deal. I will do live for tomorrow. So what you'll need to look for here on the page, there'll be a link to the YouTube channel, to my Weather Nerds YouTube channel, so you guys can come over and watch our coverage right there on YouTube. And we'll plan on going forward with that as we track the storms through Alabama and coming into Georgia. I'm thinking maybe a 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock start, just kind of depending on how things begin to develop in Alabama. And then we'll track the storms coming into Georgia. I'll probably have an update for you guys recorded tonight. We'll have a little update here on my severe weather mode there, and we'll have another one for tomorrow morning so you guys can keep up on the latest there for you. Again, I'm here to serve you guys, and we're not going to let some big bad corporation come down here and tear us down, all right? Not going to do it. Right now, I'm planning this as June 5th is our birthday. That is the official start of this page, and we're going to build a great product for you guys here. And we're going to get advertisers, sponsors, and upgrades, and this is going to be a great channel and eventually a 24-hour channel. Can you imagine that? Go ahead and go to your Roku app or go to your YouTube channel, and you can see all the weather here, kind of focus here on North Georgia. Although I'm going to be honest with you, I may even include another slide to include a little bit of more Metro Atlanta, but it will still stay predominantly here focused on the North Georgia area. All right, that's y'all's update for now. You guys take it easy, be good, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Until then, y'all have a great day. We'll see you a little bit later. Bye-bye.